I'm Adrienne Everheart. I am so excited to have my good friend and co-coach, Rogue. She has roguerelationship.com. I love Rogue's energy. She is such a breath of fresh air into the coaching world with dating and relationships, mostly because she is married for a very long time. So for those of you who are married and not just out there dating, but actually married and committed to your husband, that you're really looking to strengthen your relationship, Rogue is the lady to talk to. So say hello, Rogue.
Hi, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Adrienne.
Yes, thank you, Rogue. All right, so I'm going to start with, what is your definition of feminine energy? How would you define it?
Feminine energy is just learning to be in the present moment and not being so much in thinking mode, up in your head, which is masculine mode, as we know, and just being able to stay present. And by doing that, that's what helps us to draw men closer to us.
But what is feminine energy? A lot of people really don't know, and they don't really know what masculine energy is other than, the term. A lot of people have a misconception about feminine energy. So in your world and with your clients, when you teach them about feminine energy, what is it exactly that you're teaching them?
I'm teaching them about self-care, like how to take care of themselves and love themselves. We tend to do a lot of things for others and leave ourselves left out. And so a big part of it of changing that is to take care of ourselves.
Oh, I love that. So radical self-care. I love that. This is great. So many women do put themselves last. They have that big to-do list. And feminine energy really is about putting down the to-do list and focusing on yourself first, even before the kids to some degree. Would you agree with that?
Oh, my gosh, yes, for sure. I have 4 kids myself, and there was a time where I felt like I was doing everything. I was cleaning, cooking, working, homeschooling my kids at one point for a couple years, and I was burnt out. I had no time left for myself, and so I was very frustrated and angry and aggravated all the time.
So I'm imagining this didn't make for a very feminine receiving and masculine giving marriage that you were having.
No. Yeah, I would say I was pushing my husband away when I actually needed him more than ever in those moments, but because I didn't know the difference between the masculine and feminine, I was constantly in my masculine energy pushing him away when I really needed him. I needed his masculine energy to help me in those situations.
So how would you say that women listening right now to this recording, what can they do, Rogue? What is the best thing that you can share with them to really help them tap into their feminine energy?
So the very first thing that I started doing, and I remember the exact day that it happened, I can picture it in my mind where I was at, and I remember just stopping and focusing on what I was feeling in my body. And I remember I could hardly get it out of my mouth, what I was going to say, but I trusted myself to just say it, and I said, I feel lonely. Oh. And what happened next was actually I felt almost a little bit worse because I had opened up my heart to him, and I expected him to roll over in bed and, hold me and things like that, because I just bore my heart to him, and showed him a very vulnerable part of myself that I normally held back. And he didn't respond the way I thought he would. He actually rolled over and went to sleep. And I remember laying there thinking, and this is why I don't open my heart to you, and this is why I don't share what's really going on inside of me, because you don't care. And the very next night, it was like a repeat of what had happened the night before when I had gotten home late from work, and normally he doesn't talk to me. He's just watching TV, doing his own thing, and that's what caused me that lonely feeling that I had. And that very next night, I came home, and the TV was off, and he greeted me at the door, and he talked to me. And so the night before, when I had felt so lonely and I opened my heart to him, I expected him to respond immediately. But what happened next was it took that very next situation the next night for him to actually fix what happened the night before. So it was a miracle in my mind.
What an amazing story. And I call this, it takes a while to turn the ship around. So if you've been in your masculine, you've been in your masculine, you've been in your masculine, and then all of a sudden you're in your feminine, it takes a while for the guy to wake up to what's going on, but just remain consistent. Would you say that consistency was part of this? Because there was a moment where you're like, is this working? Is this really going to help me somehow? And I think a lot of women feel that. So what do you think was the push that really you knew you were onto something good with feminine energy? What was that like for you?
Well, like I said, after that, really it was immediate. I felt like everything turned around immediately. Like I said, it took a good 24 hours, and the next day I remember thinking, like, see, like, he's not the guy for me. Like, if he doesn't get it by now, and if I've shown him my vulnerability and I was in my feminine energy, like I've learned about this, and he still isn't responding to me, then I know that he's not the guy for me. And like I said, it was a surprise to me that the next night he actually responded differently. And honestly, from that point on, when I saw that it worked, I kept doing it, even though it was hard and even though it wasn't easy for me to, you know, get into my body and really ask myself those hard questions, like, what am I feeling? I continued to do it. And like you said, the consistency, I was slowly learning to keep trusting myself and trust myself that I could put myself out there and be vulnerable, and he would be there to listen and actually, like, care about what I was saying.
I love it. I love it. And so I just want everyone who's listening right now to understand that this takes practice on the side of the woman. You can be that one person that changes the relationship. It can take just one of you to change the relationship, and the man will follow. And if he, for some reason, isn't a masculine energy man, don't give up too soon. Give him a little bit of time to see if he can't turn the ship around, because, you know, guys, with all due respect to guys, they're slow learners. They really are. But once they get into their masculine energy and they feel like a man, that's when you begin this whole wonderful process. So did you notice some positive changes in your husband? And is there anything that you would like to share to all the wives out there, the women that are in committed relationships right now? What could you really share about, you know, what to look for in your husband when you're practicing feminine energy? What's something that can encourage them to keep practicing this?
I mean, basically, you want to look for when you are sharing your feelings and you say something truly from an inner place, like what's truly going on with you. If you share that and say, I feel, and whatever you're feeling, what you're looking for is to see if he will actually listen to you and do something to try to fix it or try to make you feel better. That's what a good guy will do. He'll actually care about your feelings. And so that's what you're really looking for, is little clues like that. And just like you said, if he's so used to you being in your masculine all the time, don't expect it to happen like overnight. It's going to take you practicing it, and it's going to take him recognizing that you're making a shift and you're changing things and how you're approaching him.
Oh, my goodness. This is such great advice, Rogue. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I want to make sure all of you know that Rogue has this amazing program called 6 Steps to have him tear the world apart to get to you. And I love that title because this is really a program about activating a man's masculine energy and activating that part of him that will stop at nothing to claim you, be there for you, support you, and love you. Now, she has a free little ebook, but she also has a program that goes along with that, and it comes with recorded classes, worksheets, and a whopping 29 audios. So, girls, don't miss out on that one if you want to learn about this process that she has used with her husband. Their marriage was really pretty much over, and you were able to turn it around, Rogue. And I just have to say, there are so many women. I couldn't do that with my first marriage. You found this material. You were really devoted to these processes, and you now have how are things at home with your husband? You're happily married, and you have so many beautiful, I always see beautiful photos that you're updating on your Facebook page and Instagram. So how are things now that you are fully in feminine energy and he's in doing masculine energy mode? How are things now at home?
Oh, my gosh, it's incredible. We live a very loving, peaceful life. I mean, I remember saying one time, I just want peace in my life, and it's very just calm and peaceful, and he's always doing and taking care of us, and it actually activated something in him that I'd always wanted him to do, which was start his own business. And I think because I switched into my feminine, it made him more in his masculine, and so it gave him the confidence and the strength to go out and pursue more things for our family. And so it's really just been incredible.
So he was inspired. I love that. Well, I'm happy for you guys both. And, again, please head on over. I'll have it in the description below to Rogue's website. You can get her free ebook. You can get the recorded class with worksheets and audios if you want to have 6 steps to have him tear the world apart to get to you. Rogue, thank you so much for being on the call today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, bye-bye.